Hey, welcome to Don't Blame Mondaze, a Better Me podcast. I am Lisa McClendon, international recording artist, and I love to have talks about self-improvement because I know what it has done for my life. So I'm excited that you're here. We're going to have some fun, and I hope you walk away feeling and being empowered. But first, let's start with a story. So I started dating this guy, and it's been maybe about 3 years now. And just a very sweet guy, very nice gentleman. Not trying to move too fast. Not giving these lines, if you will. Just a pretty genuine gentleman. And something happened, and he wanted me to share with him, what had happened. And it was a private situation, kind of like a friendship breakup, and it was a guy friend, and I didn't really want to talk about it. And of course, I let him push me into sharing, but I knew deep inside that I shouldn't share because I didn't think he would be ready to hear about a story of another guy, if you will. And so I shared it, and let's just say that it didn't go well. It ended with him feeling, I guess he was hurt, and I was hurt because of the way that situation was going. And he abruptly, and I mean abruptly, cut ties. With no explanation, no real warning, just freaked out and cut ties. And I must say, it took me some time to really get over the friendship and the potential relationship that we were building because I didn't really see that coming. And so I carried that with me for quite some time, just that lost. So recently I read this quote that just really changed the way I looked at loss and when someone or something is removed from my life. And the quote goes, "Take stock of what you can see in your life now that parts of it are gone. What view has that space created? What can you see now that you couldn't see before? Take in the new view and keep moving." And I'm thinking, wow. That quote just said that people are blocking my view. And sometimes those people have got to be removed so that we can see where we're going. So today we're going to talk about moving forward and how do you move forward when you've quote unquote lost someone or a situation in your life and it hurts. Like it's disappointing, it's frustrating, sometimes it's confusing, sometimes it's exhausting. Just exhausting. And I found myself in a situation on many occasions where people were in my life and then they were no longer in my life. And it was kind of hard trying to figure out how to move past those type of losses. But the reality is we have to remember that loss is just a part of life. While it's a painful reality, it is just that. It is a reality. People come in our lives and they stay for a season, and some people stay for a lifetime. But how do you deal with the people that come for a season when you plan for them to be there forever? And forever just doesn't happen. And I must admit, if I'm honest, I found myself in a place where I wouldn't even let anybody in because I didn't want to deal with the idea of the possibility of them no longer being around. It just seemed to me like it was much better not to let you in, so I didn't have a hard time letting you go. And so I began to master putting up a wall. I built that wall so high that you couldn't get around it. You had to come through the door, and I wasn't letting you in the door. Very guarded. But it's real. And I think the most painful part about letting people in is that you feel like you gave it your all. You know, especially when you have decided, you know what? I'm going to let my guard down. I'm going to let my guard down. I'm going to be free. I'm not going to have any expectations. I'm going to enjoy this situation. And then you find yourself enjoying the situation. You enjoy the company. You enjoy the person being a part of your life, or you enjoy the situation that's a part of your life, only to find yourself in a place where they're no longer there. I remember having a conversation with one of my life coaches, and she said something that really made me think. And the application was really helpful for me, which was, with every disappointment, which is really what I equate losing someone from my life or someone being removed from my life as a disappointment. But she would say, with every disappointment is an opportunity. Lisa, find the opportunity. Identify the opportunity and seize the opportunity. So I began to go through several relationships, family, friends, potential love interests, and I started identifying the opportunity. And so the opportunity was, hey, that person in my life, be it short, even though it was short term, I learned a little bit more patience. They taught me patience. Or that person gave me the opportunity to learn discipline. That person came in my life and they inspired me to be more diligent about my goals. And I just began to find different positive things about every relationship that I had encountered that I was able to walk away with. Because sometimes dealing with the pain, we resort to lying to ourselves, and we just chalk up the entire relationship as a complete disaster. But the reality is there is something good in every situation. And I had to literally sit myself down and identify what I was able to walk away with, and even what I was able to give them. For me to realize that no relationship, be it long-term or short-term, is ever a waste. They all serve a purpose. But at some point, when something has become a roadblock, when it's blocking where you need to go and you're trying to hold on to that person, but their time is clearly up, I have found comfort in knowing that sometimes God has to remove people out of our lives because they're simply blocking our view. They are simply blocking our view. And I can just recall several people in my life that were hindering opportunities for me because where I was going, it was not a part of their final destination. And oftentimes we do. We hold on to people because they feel good in the moment, but they were never built to be in the future. They were never equipped to be a part of the final scene. That's how I see our lives. That's how I see my life. Our lives they're books with chapters. And some people start in the book in the beginning and they make it to the last chapter. And some people are only in the first few chapters. And some people are only in one chapter. But they all had an important role in the entire book. But we have to be okay when people's part are written out of the script. Maybe it's time for them to have a new role in another life, in another book. But we want to carry people over in situations over for the long haul. And it's just not what it was meant to be. And it blocks us and it hinders us. Sometimes we have people riding along for our final destination and all hell is breaking loose because they were supposed to been gone. They were not supposed to be on the boat this long. And because we're afraid to be alone, we won't just let them go. We won't cast them over. Or we won't allow life to cast them over so that they can go on and be better where they need to be. Look, some people are just not supposed to go. And it doesn't even really mean something's wrong with them. It's just that the way they're shaped, it doesn't fit the piece that you need to be filled in your life. They don't fit the piece that needs to be filled. They're blocking the view. They're blocking the path of where you're going. Their presence is causing so much heartache and hell because their time was up. They were written out of the story in the 3rd chapter. But we somehow, some way got a pencil and we penciled them in chapter 7. Penciled them in chapter 8, 9, and 10. But they were never supposed to follow along for that long. So I want to just challenge you today to look differently about the people that have come and gone in your life. Some people have come and they've gone and they'll never return. Some people have come and gone and you cross paths again and you are able to have closure. And then there just may be some people that come and leave your life and they come back and they're there to stay. It's just going to be very important for you to be able to properly identify which one it is. But just know that when their time is for them to go, let them go so that your view will no longer be blocked and you can see the direction that you need to go for the better of your life and for the better of theirs. And remember, some people are moved out of our lives because they are blocking our view. So while it may be uncomfortable, it may bring a little sadness, enjoy the view and allow yourself to see what's ahead of you, what was promised to you, what was created for you, and keep moving. Hey, I'm Lisa McClendon. This is Don't Blame Mondays, a Better Me podcast, where we focus on self-care, self-awareness, and most importantly, self-improvement. I'll see you all next time. You're welcome.